for me. And I thought the hardcore way to do it would be to just go to the strip club and be a male stripper for real. And literally vet the women that way and get my Tootsie Roll bitten and get my nuggets squeezed and, you know, just find some that way. Or, you know, there's a strip club in town and maybe some pigs who I like would go there. And, or maybe, you know, I don't know how else to talk to, you know, just seeing pigs around town. I could just, you know, eventually if I don't crank my tack long enough, have you ever seen Darren Brown do cold approaches to hypnotize people? My dad could do that. He could pay with fake money, with like blank pieces of paper, and give it to someone and make them think it's money. But he has really good rapport skills. Now he's gay, and you know, he has kind of a, like, he's literally, I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying he's like an out of the closet gay. He's a self-identifying gay person, and but he has very good rapport. And so if I were to ever see one of my pigs around town, which I have, then I could just say like, hello, excuse me, like, you look really nice. Do you want to be my pig and I'll be your pig daddy? You know, I could say something like that, and if I have the right rapport, then I should be able to do it, and, you know, it might work like that. So I could do a combo of being a stripper plus just seizing on luck. But that's not really a plan, because that's not really in my control, but, you know, that is kind of something in the back of my mind. But really the part to really focus on for real, and I'm not just paying lip service to this, is to actually focus on my meditation, to get where I am on kind of on drugs, you know, but a higher place than that through my meditation, through sinking down into myself, and then letting the energy flow up around me, and having enough vitality that the energy flows up, because without enough vitality, there's not even enough energy to flow up. And you might not even know it. You might be enlightened, but you don't even know it, because you just eat too many cheeseburgers. And if you just actually worshipped your temple the way God says to, which is drink more water, eat more fruit, you would suddenly feel the force field around you. And sometimes I think if you're my pig, that's your case, that you are enlightened and you just don't know it. And then I see that about you. And I see that you're trying to prove something, but you yourself don't know what it is that you want, you don't know what it is that you're trying to prove. You think you're trying to prove that you're special, so that you have someone who sees you for how great you are. But what you're really trying to prove is to yourself that you are that you exist. You're trying to assert that you exist, that you are someone, that you're not just nothing, which is the same as you're enlightened, basically. You're trying to see it for yourself. What has went wrong with me? Who has the scoreboard who's going to tell me that something's okay, somewhere it's okay? Now, do I miss cuddling with someone? Yeah. You know, I would never want to be in a helicopter. Just in case something goes wrong. I'd rather be in a plane. I'm gonna play my Sonic game, I think. It's the closest thing I have to a partner. I might actually bring you along. I usually don't, because it's pretty embarrassing. I'm pretty bad at it. Okay, my phone's turning off, so yeah, I'm gonna play Sonic, and I'll see you when it's POV Sonic time. Okay, let's see. Let's just give it 1 second. It's gonna turn off any second now. The camera's about to turn off because the camera doesn't work. When I tell it to work, the camera just doesn't work. Right when I'm having my crying moment so no one's taking me seriously, and let me just prove myself to someone. Okay, I'm gonna find someone to prove myself. Am I speaking are you the vessel that I'm crying through? That I love you? That I see? That you're taken for granted and I'm crying by being you? Have I become you? Or am I crazy? Are you not my pig? Are you not my pig? I'm asking. I'm not telling you. I'm not one of those people who asks the question when I already have the answer. I'm asking you, is that not your story, that everyone took you for granted, and now you want to prove to someone that you're more than just a heartbeat with a hole? Isn't that your story? And isn't that why I cry when I think of you? Or am I a total sleazeball and I just want in that nanny, and the only way I can get it is by going, and then when your dad didn't love you, I'll be the one. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting back here cranking my tack the whole time. Well, there is such a thing as method acting, okay? When you want someone to cry, you don't cry. You go, and they'll cry for you. There is such a thing as method acting. You have to be careful of these fucking You want to know who a crisis actor is? Someone on TV who tells their sob story. A real victim can't tell their sob story. But or if they do, they're not. It's not on 60 Minutes or something. I couldn't be sure, but that Virginia Guffer girl who got hit by a bus. I'd bet, I can't be sure, but I'd bet she wasn't on 60 Minutes. And maybe your story is more. Maybe you had fucking, great everything, and you're just shining, and there is people like that too. Who I wonder if that's what they're like. So, I don't know what to say. But what were we talking about again? What were we talking about? Do I have influence on you? Are you my pig? Well, and am I crying because I feel your story? And am I your pig daddy master, or whatever the fuck you want to call me? Because it's my story too. But how do we get on this in the first place? It was something about you want to prove that you're more than a heartbeat with a hole. That there's something special about you. Well, everyone does. Everyone wants that, right? Yeah, everyone had. That's just normal. We shouldn't have to talk about that. That's like making a big deal out of saying everyone's a snowflake. Everyone already knows that. But there are certain snowflakes that interlock with others, and you don't really have to grind the gears. You can perfectly interlock, and you don't have to compromise anything. So those would be people who would be my pig. And I wonder if I have influence on you, and I don't want to control you. I don't want to harm you by interfering with your life. What I would like is to give you myself in whatever way I can, in however limited way, in whatever limited way I can. And then in that sense, do I have influence over you? But it's not me trying to extend my influence over you. It's that you love me, and so you are being influenced by me. And that validates me on a level that's higher than sex. And we're missing the sex part. That's a really important part. But we are at a level that's higher than sex too already. And I feel that around with various pigs around town. I feel like I spiritually, and maybe this is really narcissistic, okay? Maybe I was at the strip club and I said, this girl really likes me. And my friend said, you are so fucked. He's like, she's getting paid. She's friendly because you're paying her. You are clearly mistaken. And he was hammering on it. He just kept hammering me. And I thought, no, I think she liked me. I've been to some strip clubs in the day, and I think she actually liked me. And so the influence that the real influence, the underground influence, and let me just tell you something about underground influence. If some kind of prime minister came here, first of all, don't trust anyone over 20. And so this may negate the whole point. Prime minister comes to town, some important business politician, someone who's like, wearing a suit, and they have badges, or what are those things called on a military person? Those medals that show how many people they've killed, how many Nobel Prizes they've won, which means how many people you've killed. The people who would be going to their conference would be over 60. It would be like people who are like 50 and 60. The people who, like, if MDE, Million Dollar Extreme, for example, who I think are pretty funny, I think they're pretty ridiculous sometimes too. They believe literally that Jesus resurrected, like supernaturally. Okay. Mind-blowing. Okay, you have to be a complete retard to think the longest someone has went after dead and survived and came back to life, I think, was like 8 hours or something. I've heard stories of mothers holding their baby and just praying to their baby all day. This makes me sad. I am high. Okay, I'm not being dramatic. And their baby suddenly comes back to life. But their baby has a tremendous energy of life in them already. But when someone's crucified on a cross and they're like bleeding out and they're dead for 3 days or something, you think someone's going to come back from the dead after 3 days? You'd have to be literally insane. Are you fucking insane? Like, do you know how stupid you are? Do you know that if I went to you and I said, excuse me, someone just got up out of their grave and they just started dancing and they're a zombie. I think there's zombies coming to town. You would put me in a mental institution. But when you believe it, it's somehow you're special. Like, you can just believe that. Okay, MDE believes that. But they also believe, like a lot of other things, like things that I won't even say because I don't want to get gassed. But if they came to town, there would be lineups overnight to see them, and it would be as young as people as could get in would be going to see. No one over 30 or no one over 50 probably would be going to see them. I mean, I would if I was over 50, but in general, you're going to have all the youth going to see them. And they're not publicized, it's probably CTV wouldn't even do a thing on it. It would be like completely unpublicized. And these people own the youth, and they have opinions that are this, to the large extent, very anti-fascist, which is what the old people are trying to push on everyone still. The old people who get off on it, the disgusting old perverts who get off on fascism because it's a route for human trafficking, basically. Because they're married to some disgusting, unlovable cunt. Do you know what my cousin... I can't even tell you. Do you know what my cousin's boyfriend did? There was this guy at the bar asking everyone to dance. I shouldn't be saying this. He asked my cousin to dance. Then her boyfriend goes and has a word with him about it, and the bouncer has to be called. Then the bouncer goes to my cousin and says, "Was this guy who asked you to dance harassing you?" My cousin says no. Then do you know what her boyfriend did after that? Take a guess. I'll just let you guess. And in the meantime, I'll give you a little filler, because this was fucking... You're done for me, bucko. And I'm not one of those Tony Montana people with my cousin. At Christmas time, he got right in my face. And I had been writing lots of things that were real bad, but he still got, about family, but he still got right in my face. And he was like, "How's your Christmas? How's this going? How's this going? How's that going?" And the internal dialogue, the subtext was not even close, and you don't even have meditation either. You're just a lost fool, chirping away to no one. What? Oh man, those kind of thoughts happen. And at the time, they seemed very true. At the time, I can't argue with those thoughts. I think, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. If I went over to any of those pigs, probably, here's what I think at the time. I say if I were to talk to any of those pigs and say anything other than business, it would be, "Goodbye, pal. Get out of here forever, pal." I don't have any pigs. I don't have any loyalty. And I'm just pretending from my room where no one can contradict me. But I do feel like I have influence over a lot of people. Like, I've seen that in my life. People who I care about, people who are my pigs, I feel like I know that I do have influence over my pigs. I've seen it in real life. And I know that there are constraints. There are 1,000,001 constraints that disallow anything other than business. I know that because fascism exists. The lowest rung of the ladder cannot be reached. The higher dimensions that can't be sabotaged, which they can actually be. You can sabotage someone's higher dimensions by sabotaging the lower. And I had a lot of that. I had to fight a lot in my 20s, like in my teens, in my 20s. I really suffered a lot to have. Okay, why? Hold on. I have to do something right now. This is really bad. Okay, something really bad just happened. I'll be right back. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Maybe I'm getting too tired and I need to go anyways. I keep yawning. And I said the whole point, didn't I? Okay. I was being interrogated by a guy with a face that was like a bug. Like a bug. I don't think this guy is good looking. Neither does my grandma. My mom thinks he's good looking. My mom doesn't like the captain from The Sound of Music. My grandma does like the captain from The Sound of Music. I also like the captain from The Sound of Music. If you want to know about tastes. I'm not saying which is better. My mom doesn't like that he whistles at the girl, at Maria. Okay, so he says to her, "Don't ever make me look like a cunt again." Oh, you fucked up. My cousin is pure delight. She's never angry. She's never malicious. Or maybe she is. Okay, she's pissed. I've bullied the fuck out of her. But only based on a mistake. When she bumped into bitch Paulina, I thought, you did that for me? She's like, no, I did that because she was asking about Xander. I was like, therefore, Helen and I have never fought. And Helen is really great. When, you don't be mean to Helen. She's one of those people, you don't fucking do it. Like Hank Moody's wife, the one he's like, that guy called you a cunt and he punt. It's like there's some people, you don't call them a cunt. There's some people it's not allowed to do that. Some people it's allowed, but that's not one of those people. And it's not that it's the king's daughter. It's not like it's my cousin. It's that they don't behave in a way that you would ever have the right to do that. I'm fucking heartbroken for her. And I'm validated too that her relationship must suck and how great it is for me to be single. I have all these vicarious pigs. Do you know how much love I have? Really? Like I'm high, but I feel this even when I'm not high sometimes, but not as much. Do you know how much love I have from people? And how, there's so many people who I know are reading the things I write and watching me. And we have this unspoken dialogue through the gag orders. Do you have any clue how much fucking validation I have? And then sometimes it's like I want them all. I want them all. I really want them all, and there's no two ways around it. And on the lowest rung of the ladder, I'm talking about, I have them all on the highest rung, or do I? I mean, yeah, don't I? I'm not arguing. I believe I do. And who's gonna tell me otherwise? Is that bad for me? Am I delusional? Now, all these people in line, if age is irrelevant and anyone could get in to see them. MDE comes to town, for example. They came to a town nearby, and there were people waiting around the block, and you could watch YouTube videos of people just posting their experience in line. And you can't trust anyone over 20. But so we got people who are like 5, like 10, to people who are like 50, let's say, and they're all in line. And we'll just say we can trust them. They're part of a different batch. We'll say they're actually any age because they're part of a different batch. And you could trust those people. But mainly it's the younger people, because usually when you're born, you're basically smart. You're basically a genius. And then you start getting retarded. And I would like to tell you how you get retarded, okay? As a boy, I'll just use this as an example. It might be more difficult for a girl. I don't really know how it works with a girl, but I can kind of infer. But if you know how it works for a boy, you'll pretty much know how it works for a girl. It will be somewhat different. The first time the boy gets excited, which can happen like pretty much within a few months, that's when O starts happening. It can be measured in the brain. When the mother sees that, she's going to blush and she's going to go, And that's their life force energy. That's their self that's getting condemned. And they're linking up schizophrenia at that point, which is what everyone has. And they're going to think that I'm bad, this is bad. And then as it develops, they're going to just repress it and hide it. And that's going to make them repressed, and that's going to block their intelligence, and then their intelligence is never going to grow, and it's never going to crystallize. So they're basically going to be retarded. Like, to believe that someone was dead for multiple days, like Jesus, and then he suddenly came back to life, you have to be abjectly retarded for real. And that's how people are. That's how most people are, because they're completely repressed. Or you wear a mask and you think that the holes in the mask are bigger than the imaginary thing that you think is going through the hole, but you still wear the mask anyways. And you're breathing your own waste air. And it's, you don't see it as a sign of submission to, muzzling yourself and gag ordering yourself. And as a humiliation ritual, you just see it as good science or something. And so as you get older, you get more stupid. And that's pretty much the common thing throughout humanity. You just get more and more stupid. So therefore, who are the smartest people? The youngest people. Who are the people who are going to resonate the most with someone who's not retarded? The youngest people. What happens when you have someone who is an anomaly and is over the age of 20 or over the age of 30 and they're not dead inside and they're not retarded? Then the youth are going to be attracted to them, because the youth are going to say, that person is like Roy and Rick and Morty. They made it till age 58 and they didn't even have a social insurance number. How did they get so far? And so I like to think that my pigs are people who actually get me and who actually have resonance with me. And so what is it that you want to share as a woman? That was the first question that we asked in the video today, is you want to be something more than a heartbeat with a hole, just like I want to be more than a heartbeat with a pole. And so what is it that you want to be that's really special? Is it like that you're really caring or something? Like you I don't really know how to define the specialness of the pigs I like. It's not something I could really say without making up words, like they're zippy or something. Wow, that one is bright, something like that. That one is intuitive, or I'm just making it up. I'm not thinking of a specific pig here. But for me, what I'd like to give is my state of meditation. That's the most valuable gift that I can give you, ultimately. That's actually literally the only gift I can give you. That's actually the only thing that matters. And I'm not sure I have my meditation. Okay, I'm not sure I can give that to you. Okay. And if that's true, this is just something I've heard and I'm just copying it, so don't even listen to me. I really wonder sometimes. But if I have it, if I have my meditation, if my energy is flowing up and I am fucking zen, then the only thing that you're even here with me for, it's not my body. But it is, but it's deeper than that. That's why when that girl who I loved so much, Chelsea, I said, you're a bad person, but it doesn't matter to me. I really love you so much. I hope that you could see that I fully understand you're a complete scoundrel and you hate yourself even more than you can accept, more than you're even aware. You have layers of hatred that are so deep that but it doesn't matter to me. Because I'm on a level with you that is so much higher than that it doesn't matter at all. And I want so badly for you to come up there, because I know that you have this terrible hatred, this self-hatred, this guilt that you're a complete fake, this guilt that you hate everyone and hate yourself probably that you hate everyone, really. You probably literally know that all your friends hate you, and that your fucking family hates you, and that you hate them too. That's probably the truth. And you can't even get out of it. And the way I feel with you is I'm so far above this because of you. It's not like I'm claiming superiority. Because of you, because how great your looks are, and because I never trusted anything in my life, but your looks are actually physically real. And I didn't trust anything anyone told me. I couldn't trust a person in any sort of sense. A person says, I like you. Well, that doesn't mean anything. I love you. Well, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. It means literally nothing. Everything means literally nothing. And the only thing that I could ever even trust, ever, when it came down to it, and this takes some serious pain to get to this point where you say, I really don't trust anyone. I really don't like anyone. I have zero friends. I have zero connection with anything. Even my pet, I don't like. Even feeding myself, I don't like. This whole world sucks. Everything sucks. And in my most black moments of depression, when everyone's saying that's just the depression talking, I know that I'm actually the most truthful at that point. I know that finally I have the guts to see it how I really see it at that point. And anyone who tells me otherwise, fuck you, because I know you're lying. And when I got to that, there's nothing else than the bone structure of Chelsea's face and her, her somewhat okay chest and her, her decent body, but her beautiful face. When it came to that's the only thing I trust, I wanted to tell her, you've not broken down as far as I have. Wherever you are, I've been there. However scoundrel you are while thinking of yourself as a decent, upstanding person, I've also been there. Whatever hypocrisy you have, that you're completely not as you appear, and you pretend to yourself and others like you're someone you're not, I also have that. And I went further into it out of having less power than you, so I couldn't get my way as much as I want, so I cracked earlier than you did. And I realized that the only thing that I care about in the entire world, there's nothing else I even care about than your ass and your chest and your face. There is literally nothing else. I put beauty higher than love. I put beauty higher than God. Love and God are just for fucking idiots. Love and God don't exist. And if they do, I put beauty higher because beauty is at least real and love and God are hypothetical. And I said, your beauty is so next level. It's so 1 out of trillions. You came here like once every 50 trillion years you came to a planet. Someone like you is more than just 1 out of 8 billion. You came to the planet at the same time as me, in the same time zone. This is nuts. Like, I was trying to be grand with her, telling her about the nuke 30,000 years ago and since the last civilization. And I'm trying to talk in big terms and, to tell her how important our love is. And I wanted to tell her, I tried so hard to tell her that to me, your beauty is making me feel like I can trust something that is so fucking hot. It's so hot that I just fucking love it. And there's nothing else I love, okay? And that sounds really cliche, but remember, until I saw you, love was just a hypothesis, remember? But I could say it's so hot, I love it. Now, one of the best ways to lie is to lie nonchalantly. Just say it, I love it. Just say it like it's nothing, like just do it really casually. Yeah, she's really hot, I love it. But she's a real bitch. As if you even know what love is. I wanted to take the point and slow it down with her and say, I know what it means now to love. And I get it that you're going to say that's not love, that's just sex. Okay, right. Yeah, I've been a hypocrite too. Yeah, I've been a fucking retard too. Okay, I'm speaking from my experience here. I'm telling you, the experience that I'm having, seeing your face, is transforming me. It's making me not a liar so that you'll keep talking to me. It's making me Jack Nicholson and as good as it gets, so I take the medication. So I do whatever I have to keep you around. It's making me not crank my tack for months at a time. It's making me eat potatoes without oil every single night. And I don't care you're a bad person. I'm on such a higher dimension from what you've given me here. And I know you feel like you don't deserve it. I know you feel like you're not worthy because you're saying, well, that's just my looks. And, every guy wants to fuck me. And every guy wants to, fuck me. And that's all that matters. And they're, no broke boys, no friends. No broke boys, no friends. Okay, no broke boys, no friends. Okay, I know. I'm just telling you that someone sees you, someone likes you for who you are, as the complete rotten, disgusting piece of shit you are. Someone would do anything for you as the person you are without you having to improve yourself. I know that you're trying to improve yourself. And someone sees the perfection of you in this moment. And I don't care you're a bad person. And I'm on such a higher dimension. And when I look at the stars, I see stars near each other and I imagine they're both of us. And I'm relating it to our conversation that when we're closer, the stars are going to become one and we're finally going to have oneness together. And that's what I want with you more than anything. I want to give you this feeling that I have. How wonderful it is to be with you. I want you to know how wonderful it is. Well, it leads somewhere else too. It leads somewhere better. And I wanted to give her that too. It leads to the shoo, shoo, shoo. And that's the bridge to God. At first you find yourself in the body of someone else. You share the body. You have the soul, your two stars, and you become one. And you interlock souls. And that's kind of my influence on my pigs, I hope, that we're interlocking souls, that we're becoming each other. And the next step after that is becoming existence. That at first your soul is just stuck inside you and it expands into someone else, and that's your beloved. And then your soul goes to God, which is infinity. And that's when you have so much energy. For me, it felt like a pop in my head. I actually felt like what the fuck is going on? Like, I was laying in bed. I wasn't cranking my tack. I was eating like 7 pounds of fruit a day, minus the cores, or something, like crazy amounts of fruit, like drinking liters of water a day. And, you know, it was crazy. I could bowl really good, and, you know, I was healthy. And I had all this energy, and it was like, what the fuck? Like, it was all like just swirling around me, and then it was like crack, it like cracked open in my head, and then it just started flowing out my head. It's like flowing out my head. And that was my connection to God. And so basically that's like, I'm feeling like a fraud here, you know. Part of me is saying, you're just making all this up, Z-Bubs. You've heard Osho say something similar, and you're imagining it's true. Okay, you're not deceiving, you're not a liar, and this is why it's really dangerous. Because you're actually not lying, but you are lying. You really believe this because Osho said it happened, something similar happened to him. And so you believed then that happened to you, but you just imagined it. And you thought it was real, and now you're explaining a real thing that actually does happen, but you're someone who has it happen to, and you're going to lead people astray. Now, the other thing I think is, what if it actually did happen, and the way that it happened with Osho is the way that it happens with everyone, and it's a standard operating procedure of how spirituality works, that it's just a map of how it works, and it did happen to me, and now I'm making sure that it happens to my pigs too, because my pigs are frankly the most beautiful people in town, the most beautiful, influential people in town. And they could have the most ripple effect of 6 degrees of association. They could be the ones who save the world. Ultimately, I think that my pigs could save the world. And that's the gift that I want to give to you, is meditation, which starts with love. And to skip the very lowest rung of the ladder, the sex, that's rough, okay? And now and sometimes, I don't even want to go into this, but sometimes I think I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go, no pigs love you, no one loves you. Whenever someone's friendly, it's because they work at the store you're shopping at, or they're a stripper who's getting paid, and they're gang stalking you, and they're trying to ease their guilt, so they're being friendly or something, you know. And you're completely alone, Z-Bubs. No one cares about your opinions. No one gives a fuck. Okay, the people who are subscribed to you are just gang stalkers who hate you. They're not gang stalkers who love you, and they're not TIs who love you. They're not in-between people who love you, if those exist. And you're just making a fool of yourself. You're not the pig master at all, Z-Bubs. One more thing about punching someone in the face for giving them the finger. I used to drive around with my mom all the time and just giving people the finger. Like, if someone gave me the finger, I wouldn't punch them in the face. So I'm not saying that's my kind of morality, like to punch someone in the face for giving me the finger. But I'm just saying how cool it is that someone would do that. Like, for someone who it is a big deal, or maybe it was the tone that they did it. I don't know. But for me, don't. I'm not saying that I think it's personally the right thing to do to punch someone in the face because they give you the finger. Okay, so I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do either. I'm just saying that for me, I wouldn't do that.